Alright, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachaha, Chadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I wanted to do a response video to a video that was done by the beloved brother Mayaka Allah from the Los Angeles camp right here. As you can see in the title, this is the most important prophecy, life and death situation. So I wanted to do my response on this because we are approaching those times very quickly. Okay, especially the way things is moving overseas. You got the so-called Israelis who are attacking Iran. Okay, and basically Donald DJ Trump was asked to join the small hats in their onslaught against Iran, but Donald Trump turned down the offering. And there's a reason for that, because well, first off, let me start off by saying that in Proverbs, let's just get that real quick. In the book of Proverbs, okay, it tells you that man's goings are of the Lord. You see, there's a reason why the Heavenly Father put this spirit on DJ Trump to decline the command from Netanyahu to offer to command Trump to aid them in this attack. Proverbs 20 verse 24. Okay, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? Okay, and then if we come over here, right, let's type in the king's heart, because, well, we know that okay, so I can just do this. Come over here and go to Google. Okay, because, well, yeah, the ultimate king is you know, the so-called elites of this society, but underneath the so-called elites, who will be considered the king of Babylon, who's sitting in the White House right now, passing all kind of draconian laws at the behest of the so-called elites. Okay, DJ Trump is. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Excuse me, a little excited. The king's heart is in the hand of KJV. Okay. So there's Proverbs 21. Let's click on that. Okay. Proverbs 21 verse 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Heavenly Father put the spirit on DJ Trump to decline Netanyahu's command to join the small hats in their onslaught against Iran and their nuclear facilities. Because, see, ultimately, DJ Trump knows that the moment he goes into Iran, prophecies is going to start speeding up. Okay, it's going to be World War III. There's going to be a mandatory draft where people's going to be drafted into the military. Then ultimately, the RFID micro CHIP is going to be mandatory, as it tells you in Revelation 13 verse 16 on down to 18. Okay, he cause of all, meaning he's going to make it mandatory for everybody to receive a implantable device the size of a grain of rice. So the most important part, the most important prophecy is the micro CHIP, which is the mark of the BEAST, because, okay, when that becomes mandatory, excuse me, it will be a life or death situation. Okay, if you don't take it, okay, your head may be in the guillotine. Okay, you might be faced with starvation, diseases. Okay, um, and anything that's outside the safe zone, anything that's outside the safe zone, which would either be a concentration camp or a 15-minute city. Anything that's outside the safe zone of those would be murder bots, slaughter bots, okay, robot dogs, robot dogs, dangerous animals. And a lot of people, for the sake of having some kind of comfort, security, having some kind of conveniency, wanting things to go back to so-called normal. People wanted to go back to living, the easy life where they can just wake up, read a newspaper, watch TV, and owning nothing and being happy. People's gonna want to go back to that false sense of lifestyle where they think they're free and not knowing that they're going to be manipulated, they're going to be controlled, okay, and ultimately they're not going to have any control over their life, their wife if they even have one, or their children. Okay, they're going to control how many children you can and cannot have. And this NWO that's coming is going to be one big clusterfuck. And people is going to be running and begging for this new order. And the majority of people is going to accept this new order, not knowing that they're walking right into the new world order. They're not going to know that it's the new world order. The devil's not going to tell them it's the new world order. But they're going to be living in it with a C hip in them. Okay? So this is the most important part of prophecy, man. Because once the micro C hip becomes mandatory, prophecies are going to start flying by rapidly, speeding up rapidly. Okay? And it's going to be a life or death situation, because even if you do take the micro C hip, you're still going to die, because, well, in Revelation, right? If we go to Revelation 14, it tells you what the punishment is going to be for those who worship the beast or his image or receive his mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Okay, so let's go to Revelation, which was written by because the John the Revelator, while he was on the island of Patmos, he saw people lining up to take the micro C hip so they can buy food, pay bills, keep a roof over their head, keep their high paying job, be able to pay off their car note, and for other reasons which may seem convenient, being able to just scan and go. The Walmart where I go to buy food sometimes, they had a scan and go line where all they had to do was scan their phone. Okay, you could pay using your phone, and then just like that you could go. And if you didn't have the paying option on your phone, you couldn't use that line. So a lot of people were stuck having to wait in a long ass line, while those who actually had Apple Pay or whatever on their phone, they was able to use that to just scan and go and leave, and boom, they was out the door. So a lot of people is going to take the micro C hip for convenience reasons as well. Revelation 14 verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice. And this third angel, because we are angels here on earth, okay? Now, we're not on the same level as the angels traveling around in so-called UFOs, because we are in these chains of darkness, okay? We are in a low estate right now. So when the time comes, okay, when that time comes, the Lord is going to, Lord's will, if we be of the elect, Like it tells you in 2 Corinthians 15, we're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Okay. At the last trump. Okay. When the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, we hope we're of the elect. Okay. Their spirit is going to leave their current body, and it's going to be transitioned into the new body. Okay. Those super extraterrestrial bodies. Okay. Now I know, like, sometimes brothers will say, we're gonna be like Superman and Superwoman here on the planet, but that's an understatement. Okay. We're gonna be far more powerful than Superman and Superwoman. Okay. You see, Superman is weak to kryptonite. We ain't gonna be weak to shit. There were some things Superman could not do. We're gonna be able to do everything, any and everything, as long as it's in righteousness. Okay. So we're gonna be far more powerful than Superman and Superwoman. Okay. And I say Superwoman because our sisters in this truth who get beamed up into what the world calls a UFO know that the women that are of the elect of the nation of Israel, they're going to receive extraterrestrial bodies too. Okay. You watch all these different episodes and shit, and you see Superman getting beat up by Batman. Bruh, look, we ain't gonna be getting our ass whooped by no goddamn Batman. Okay. Batman is gonna be shitting in his bat suit when you see the Lord elect going around wrecking shit, and there's nothing people can do about it. We're gonna be far more powerful than the X-Men. We're gonna be doing things that you never even seen in X-Men. We're gonna be far more powerful than Dragon Ball Z characters. Like, we're gonna be far more powerful than Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Beerus. Okay? We're gonna be more powerful than Saitama from One Punch Man. Come on, man. We're gonna be far more powerful than all those anime characters. Okay, what you see in anime is only a small depiction of what we're gonna be able to do in real life. Lord's will, if we be of the elect. Okay? So the third angel followed them. So the third angel, the angel is talking about the prophets here on earth. Okay? The prophets that are of the elect here on earth, coming with the correct doctrine. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, right? Because like it tells you in Isaiah 58 verse 1, lift up thy voice, spare not, right? Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, right? So saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Let's read what the punishment is going to be. We know what that mark is. That is the micro C hit. Okay? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he and she shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And that fire and brimstone is going to come in the form of intercontinental ballistic missiles. Okay, let's go to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. Okay, the book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. And the third angel, and Babylon. Who is Babylon? Babylon is that great city spoken of in the book of Revelation. Okay. So it says, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. America's the glory of kingdoms. Every kingdom, except for Iran and, a couple of other countries, follow after the manner of America. So America is the glory of kingdoms, like it tells you in Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. In Babylon, which in Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken with her fornication. That's why, because before, you didn't see people around the world wearing suits and ties and women wearing pants and being out of order. And you never heard about a McDonald's in Japan or in China or in Australia or in parts of Arabia or in some of these African countries. You didn't hear about skyscrapers in China, Japan, Tokyo, Shanghai. You didn't hear about skyscrapers in Dubai. You didn't hear about skyscrapers in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Syria. You didn't hear about skyscrapers in parts of Africa and Australia. Where are they learning all these? Where are they getting all these ideologies and philosophies from? The United States. Was not the first skyscraper built here in Chicago in the United States? Was not the first McDonald's built here in the United States? Did not the so-called white man here in America, did he not start the fad of wearing suits and ties and walking around with a suitcase? So that proves my point. America is the glory of kingdoms, which also proves that America is Babylon the Great, the glory of kingdoms. The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So Babylon, the glory of kingdom, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now we know that ancient Babylon was not destroyed by fire. As a matter of fact, that country was not destroyed at all. Okay? Now what happened in ancient Babylon was there was a transition of kings. Because after the last king of Babylon, who came in? You had the kings of the Persian and the Medes who came in. Okay? Which became the Persian Medo Empire. Okay? And then after that, what happened? Alexander came along, took them out, and then put the Israelites in captivity. But there was never any reports of Babylon being destroyed. No. So this has to be talking about a different Babylon, because we know that ancient Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. So what is Isaiah saying here? Babylon is going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah, except 200 million times worse. Because in the book of Revelation, it speaks about how 200 million nuclear warheads are going to hit this country. And after the fire clears up, wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Because right after the fire clears out in the United States of America, after being hit with 200 million nuclear warheads, which is going to come from these different countries during World War III, after the fire and smoke clear out, this place is going to be the biggest desert on the planet. Because this whole country is going to be made desolate. That includes Canada, which is a part of the United States. So America is going to be the biggest desert on the planet. Okay? But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate places, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, her days shall not be prolonged. So when we come back over here, we understand that the wine of the wrath of the Most High Yahweh is those nuclear warheads, which is going to be shot off and used by other countries during World War III. Okay, they're going to, especially NATO, because according to Obadiah 1 verse 7, America's allies is going to turn on America. Okay? So NATO, who is currently an ally of the United States, is going to turn on the United States. And they're going to shoot their missiles on this place, their nuclear warheads, and their weapons of mass destruction. Okay? Okay? You know? So those nuclear warheads, which is going to be carried by those intercontinental ballistic missiles, is the wine of the wrath of Yahweh. And anybody who has the MARK, when these nukes are shut off, they're gonna get caught up in a nuclear destruction. Okay. Okay. You know, you're gonna get melted in that nuclear fire because that's what's coming, man. You know, so the most important prophecy is the micro CHIP, because once that becomes mandatory, hey, all the other prophecies, it's gonna fall in line and they're gonna rapidly start coming to pass. You know, martial law, famine, disease warfare, and who knows how long it will take before the Lord returns. The Lord could return 2 weeks later. After that micro CHIP becomes mandatory, the Lord can return a month or a month and a half or 2 months or 3 months later. Who knows? But we know that once that micro CHIP becomes mandatory, okay, that's it. World War III, mandatory drafts, starvation, okay, the implementation of martial law, Israelites getting taken out of their homes and being put in concentration camps, their faith being tested, a trial of 10 days, which the number 10 is completion. Okay. Murder bots and slaughter bots roaming the streets. You know, a major internet outage. Okay, the power grid going out. It's going to get messy out here, man, and it's going to be very, very hard. But when all these things are happening, when them prophecies are coming to pass back to back to back, hey, you know, that's a major sign that Yahweh Shai is on his way back, man. That's a major sign that Yahweh Shai is on his way back, and more sooner than we think. So, you know, again, you're going to be faced. This is going to be a life and death situation, man. You know, and we're quickly approaching those times with the small hats attacking Iran. So, with that, I'm going to say Shalom. It's on to the next one.